gentlemen, welcome, one and all, to another edition. What a great start of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show. I am Mr. Warren Hayes, and this is the Raw Recap Edition of November 26, 2018. A Raw which occurred in the city of Milwaukee, Bear City, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is a place you can go to if you want beer. Milwaukee was host tonight to an exceptionally bad episode of Monday Night Raw. But, you know, I said this on Twitter, and this is to everyone who's popping in live, watching this on chat things, not on chat things, but you can join in the chat. But if you're watching this live, or if you're just tuning in, I have put myself in a position, I've decided that I was going to try and find the positives in this show tonight, because damn it, they gave us 2 terrible episodes of Raw back to back, 1 week after the other. I'm not going to sit here another week and complain, folks. We're going to try and find the silver lining behind everything that happened on Raw tonight. Count on your boy, Warren Hayes, Mr. Warren Hayes, to try and peel back the layers of soot and mud and dog crap that existed tonight. If you want a podcast that will have a go at destroying the November 26, 2018 edition of Raw, you have come to the wrong place, my friends. There's more than enough spots out there tonight. We'll be doing that for sure. But in the meantime, like I said, I am doing this live. We have people in the chat with us this evening. We've got Kristen, we got JPQ, we got Jason with us. If you're watching and you're idling and you're not quite sure if you should pop in the chat, I respect that. That's fine. That is absolutely okay. You know, you just might want to lurk. Maybe you don't want to, be the center of attention. That's fine. But the chat, the Warren Hayes chat, is such a friendly place. You could jump in and do that. That's on YouTube. And just jump in. There's another place I'd like to develop some friendly chat, and that's over on stream.me. I've started doing multi-streams over on stream.me /Mr. Warren Hayes. It's an up-and-coming streaming service. It seems to be really cool. I'm still trying it out, still testing it out, wading through the waters of stream.me. The chat opportunities seem a lot more interesting and in-depth than what we have on YouTube. Lots of cool stuff. I mean, that's a good way to try stuff out. And people ask me, Warren, how can I support you? But in reality, nobody asks me that. But let's say in a fantasy world, people say, Warren, how could I support you? Well, that's simple. You could just go on this new location that's right here, stream.me /Mr. Warren Hayes. You go there. You sign up. Well, I don't even think you have to sign up. You just follow me, subscribe. It's not, and then you get all the advantages of YouTube, but in another area that is much more conducive to building a community. That's what I think is interesting. I'd like to try it out. See what happens. But I want to thank everyone who's watching live right now, whether you are in the chat or not. That's super cool. If you're watching right now, tweet out the link to these videos, either the YouTube link, the stream.me link. Just put it out there. Tweet, Facebook, share it out there. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. That always helps. And I'm just happy you guys are around tonight because I feel like everyone is dead. Dead after tonight's episode of Raw. How you doing, Blaine? Taking this time to say hello as he's teaching his karate class. Blaine, you should pay more attention to your students, Blaine. But thank you for taking the time to say hello. All right, programming notes just before we dive in. Tomorrow is the SmackDown Live recap that I do live here as well on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes or stream.me/Mr. Warren Hayes. That's always fantastic. I hope it will be better than what we got tonight. It has to be. It cannot not be. Right? It can't be worse than what we got tonight. It's the positive show tonight, guys. Let's be positive. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals. So tomorrow, SmackDown Live, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Boom, right here. Right back on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes or stream.me/Mr. Warren Hayes. You can check that out. Then on Wednesday, as usual, my weekly 205 Live NXT recap show over on FightfulSelect.com, the premium service of Fightful.com. Fightful.com, your premier combat news, sports, combat sports news for combat sports. What a great site that the boy Sean Ross Sapp runs over there. You get all sorts of exclusive news. You get all your wrestling news because you can get wrestling, boxing, MMA. But if you want more, if you just want your wrestling news, you just head on over there. You go to FightfulWrestling.com and then you get only the wrestling news. And then on top of that, if you want more wrestling content, you want more wrestling stuff, you want great insights, positive insights, not always, but still, most of the time, you go to FightfulSelect.com, the subscription service for Fightful. Starts at $5 a month. You support Fightful that way, and you get so much more stuff. You get a weekly podcast which recaps all non-WWE programming. It's going to be, I think this week it's Steven, it used to be Sean Ross Sapp was doing it. I think as of this week, Steven Jensen is going to be taking over. I think it's this week he begins, and he recaps all non-WWE programming. I think I said that, like Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, NWA, Lucha Underground, although Lucha Underground, their season is done. But that's what you do. That's what he does. So that's a cool show. I do my weekly NXT 205 recap shows. I also do retro pay-per-view reviews with Sean. We do a whole bunch of them. We've got World War III 1996, I want to say. 1998, maybe? I can't remember the year. It's been a while since we've taped it. And we do those. They come out monthly. We've got a whole bunch of great stuff like that in the can for you guys. Sean does Q&A sessions. He does dark match commentaries on matches, dark matches that don't have any commentary. He provides commentary on them. You have some nice little gems in there. Go check that out. $5 a month. You're supporting a fairly new website, Fightful.com, which is, we're working hard to give it, to make it fantastic, even more fantastic than it already is. Growing constantly. We want to give it as much growth as possible. We want to make it enormous. A lot of people tell me, wow, Fightful. That's a big deal. It's a big site. You know what? When you think about it, the website's been around for about 2 years, so that's a testament to the work that Sean's putting in. I'm just happy that I'm along for the ride, to be perfectly honest. No, I contributed. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be a part of it. You guys should go check it out, FightfulSelect.com. And then on Thursday, again on FightfulSelect.com, I'm going to do another episode of my exclusive NXT UK recap show, which I usually combine with my NXT UK, with my 205 Live NXT recap show. But these days, WWE Network have been giving us back-to-back episodes of NXT UK. So, I have to watch them. I have to put them together. And instead of condensing 4 hours of programming into a 1 hour podcast, I do the back-to-back episodes, and I give FightfulSelect.com members an extra hour. More content. More bang for your buck. That's what Warren Hayes is all about. More bang for your buck. And then make a note of this, folks. Write it down. Pull out your calendars, your agendas, your Post-it notes, your time tracking applications, whatever it is you use. But write this down: December 8, 2018. December 8, 2018. The Kings of Chat Style return. That's right. Wilfred of the Wilfred Watches podcast and myself will return for a second episode of our critically acclaimed podcast, The Kings of Chat Style. So it'll be, again, Wilfred and I hosting the show with 2 new guests, 2 new topics. We're not revealing those today. Come on over on my Twitter account, on Wilfred's Twitter account. Follow us there, and you'll get all the scoops as they pop up. So write that down. December 8, 2018, episode 2 of Kings of Chat Style. We've got some great stuff lined up. Now, before we actually jump in, to the actual nitty gritty here, of course, you guys know what time it is. You know what this is all about. It is time for bold predictions. Of course, it's time for bold predictions. I hit my Twitter timeline earlier today, asking my Twitter timeline for the best bold, crazy, out there predictions that they could muster up for tonight's episode of Raw. Let's jump right into it. Let's see what they came up with today. And we start, oh, look at that, with JPQ, moderator extraordinaire, over on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. Would you look at that? Now, a lot of people had Walter on the brain tonight because it has been revealed, or it has come to light. It has not been confirmed, but very credible sources have come up with the news saying that Austrian-born mega power of independent European wrestling, Walter, has signed with WWE to be a part of NXT UK, which I think is fantastic. So there's a lot of people who had Walter on the mind, on their brain today, and JPQ was one of them. Walter shaves his head and makes an immediate appearance on Raw alongside Matt Riddle, whose hair is also shaved, as the new tag team, the King Bong Bundys. That's good. I like that. That's very bold. That's a bold prediction. Good job, JPQ. King Hooney, or Junie. Hooney. King Hooney. I'll say Hooney. King Hooney says Walter and Lars Sullivan debut as part of the new Wyatt family with Bray. Ooh. That would be a hard-hitting Wyatt family if they were to go back down that route. Didn't see Bray Wyatt tonight on Raw. I think he would have spiced things up a little bit. But no, he wasn't there tonight. But still, very bold prediction, King Hooney. Good for you. Lethal says Joey Abs answers the Seth Rollins Open Challenge and wins the strap. Joey Abs, man. If there's someone who'd be overdue for a comeback, it's your boy Joey Abs. And finally, Neil jumps in here and says Jim Carrey storms the ring and demands Lashley and Lio Rush stop using his Ace Ventura talking butt shtick immediately. Once Bobby's match starts, Lio Rush asked if anyone wants to hear the most annoying sound in the world, but we have. It's Rush on a live mic during matches. That's very, very, very bold. I I don't think Bobby Lashley has reached the moment where he actually has to speak out of his ass, but you know, you can't put it past WWE these days. Those were the bold predictions for today. Thank you, everyone who contributed. Always a pleasure. Kill that. There we go. How you doing, chat? How's everybody doing? We've got Felix who just dropped in. Jay King who's with us as well. Let's see what we have here. Jay says, every Monday night, Punk continues to be proven right. This company will be better off when Vince McMahon is dead. Punk, I'm assuming you mean CM Punk. Kristen Ashley is demanding why her tweet was not featured. Which tweet was that? Was that the tweet that you were perhaps insulting me? Yeah, that's probably why. So there you go. There you go. All right. Now, for those of you who are just joining us maybe live, this is the Let's Be Positive stream this evening because we've had another shit episode of Raw, and I am not going to go through a headache of Raw tonight. We're going to focus on the good stuff. Silver linings, folks. Silver linings. Silver linings. Silver linings. Silver linings. Now, I fully expected every one of you out there to do that chant. And I don't care if it is 10 minutes to midnight in the Eastern Seaboard right now. I don't care. You should all be chanting that. All right, let's get to this. Positive. Bobarooski. I want positive. You want positive. Everyone wants positive. Mizzy. Everyone's coming in. Silver linings. Okay. Show starts with Baron Corbin coming out. He's accompanied by Bobby Lashley with Lio Rush and Drew McIntyre. What a lovely trio those three make, though. Like, as far as being three big dudes together, it's an impressive wall of meat, wouldn't you say? They show a pre-taped interview with Braun Strowman, who is not there this evening. Won't be the first superstar announcing that he will not be in the building for this show. So basically Strowman is getting prepped for surgery. He shows off his elbow, which it looks bad. It does not look good. That's quite, it was, kind of monstrous. Braun says that he'll be back 100%, and the attack that was perpetrated on him last week was going to seem like paper cuts once he's done with them. He won't be cleared to compete at TLC. That this is Baron that tells us here. And he says the match, but even though Braun won't be medically cleared to compete at TLC, our match is still on. And when he fails to show up, I will get back at him. I will become general manager. And he tells everyone, you might as well start calling me general manager elect. Now, we're being positive tonight, but there is one thing. Okay, being positive. Change my mindset. I hope Baron Corbin is listening right now, because I would like to take an opportunity to just properly inform, be a pedagogical here for a second, educate my boy Baron right now so that he understands exactly how this works. You cannot call yourself general manager elect, Baron, because that would imply that the position of general manager is an elected position within the company, which it is not. It is by appointment. So, basically, I think you could still call yourself, interim general manager, and that is fine. But calling yourself general manager elect, Baron, it's not the best look. I think you should take a step back and think something else. But I appreciate that maybe you just didn't understand exactly what it meant, how this actually implies a democratic process. I understand that. You're a wrestler. You're a busy guy, with your Ferraris and your Rolex watches. So, I understand that you don't have maybe time for these types of details. And I appreciate you for who you are. Elias interrupts all this. Elias interrupts all this. And he says, basically, he's out here. He's talking to Baron Corbin here, and he says, "You're out here talking about being the new general manager. Anyone would be better than you. Leo Rush would even be better than you. Although it'd probably mean that it probably means that WWE would be violating child labor laws, which got a giggle out of me." And then he starts into a song where he gets everyone to start chanting "Bobby Lashley sucks." Which I kind of feel that it will be going over. It will work very, very soon. Anyway, this leads us into a match between Elias and Bobby Lashley. Elias goes in quickly here, chopping Bobby Lashley. He runs the ropes, but shoulder tackles. But Bobby Lashley shoulder tackles him down. And then quickly, we're in the rest holds. Lashley hits a waistlock slam. Here's some. I tweeted this out. At this point, WWE commentary is arguing as to who a beta male is, because this was referenced by Lashley in the opening promo. And suddenly, with all this beta male discussion going on between Graves and Renee and Cole, I suddenly feel like I'm actually listening to Twitter. Like Twitter is physically being represented through this commentary. And the fact, positives. Here's something positive. Vince McMahon over the Thanksgiving weekend was around with his family, his grandkids. And one of his grandkids, probably around the table, said, "Oh, he's such a beta male, so on and so forth." And Vince McMahon was like, "Whoa, what's a beta male, pal?" And youngster McMahon, grandchild McMahon, informs him that a beta male is, not an alpha male, is someone who doesn't assert himself positively, and it's being used around, social media as a negative. "I like it. I think we should include it in our promos on Monday night. It'll connect with the kids. They'll know what's going on." So the fact that they used it over and over again means that Vince McMahon learned a new word. And I am completely okay. Congratulations, Vince. You never stop growing, guys. This is what this segment of Raw has taught me. You never stop to grow and learn, even when you're into your 70s, right? You never ever stop learning. There's a whole bunch of chin locks, but Elias starts battling back. He shotgun drop kicks Lashley, but he chops him and gets thrown to the outside. Oh, and even earlier, Elias hits he actually hits a drop kick to Lashley through the ropes. Lashley was on the outside, which is new to Elias's arsenal. Back from commercial, Elias is getting explosive offense in. The crowd is into it as well. He gets a knee to Lashley's face. Top rope elbow drop by Elias. But Leo Rush pulls out the ref before the 3 count. The ref calls the DQ. We didn't see the camera. The camera didn't catch Leo Rush pulling the ref out. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, if we're being positive. It keeps us on our toes. It's like, ooh, something happened out of my field of vision. Why wasn't there a 3 count? And we're in suspense. It's not because production dropped the ball here. It's not as if WWE production crews are everywhere. It's not because cameras are everywhere and there's, they've been doing live shows for years that they should be able to pick up such an important moment of the match, one that actually signs the very outcome of the match. It's not as if production failed here. No. This was just a little spice here to make us wonder, wow, what's going on? What's going on? Positive. Anyway, so the ref calls for the DQ because of those shenanigans. But Corbin picks up a microphone and says, "You know what? You interrupted me earlier, Elias, so I couldn't follow through with my entire idea, but we're making this match a no DQ. Let's start it again." Lashley blindsides him, spears him into the corner a couple of times. Then everyone starts getting involved. Elias goes for his guitar, brings it into the ring, but Corbin attacks him from behind. They break the guitar. Again, not necessarily a negative. Elias has a sponsorship, so he'll just get another one. Don't worry about Elias. Not necessarily a bad thing. They all trade shots on Elias. Some chair shots as well by Corbin. They beat him up Braun style like they did last week. Drew hits that reverse or inverted Alabama slam on Elias on the steps. Now, all irony aside, this was the coolest part of the entire evening right there. That was a hell of a move. And just taking that inverted, and I was talking about this with the dude from Take the Bump podcast on Twitter. Just taking the move, just taking a basic Alabama slam where you land on your back is harsh enough. Now you're taking it face first. Whoo. Lashley runs around the ring, making some fun of Braun's running around the ring and shoulder tackling people. But here he does it. He hits a spear on Elias, rolls him back in the ring, goes for the nonchalant cover. The heels win. Well, I think I pointed out quite enough positives about this match here. But, I mean, well establishing the heels as well. This evening on Raw was all about establishing some strong heels. This new trio of Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre. Poor Dolph. Establishing these guys as top heels. I think this is important. It's an important storyline for the entire evening. Corbin is backstage. Next, we see him chewing out a dude when he meets up with Alexa Bliss, and he decides to make Alexa Bliss head of the women's division on Raw. She's thrilled, as she would be. So that's part of the first segment. Let's see. Oh, look at this. We have Anthony from Smart to Death who's jumped in the chat as well. Hello, Anthony. I'm just gonna run down. See here. Bobaruski says that. Dang, Kevin Dunn missed another shot. Lol, indeed. Who's drunk? Bobaruski says you sound drunk. I hope he's talking about Anthony because Anthony's drunk most of the time. Because I don't drink when I stream. I don't. Reverse Alabama Slam was dope, says JPQ. I agree. Anthony appreciates how thorough I am because my recap is more effective than actually watching the show. Thank you. Dean Ambrose is backstage. Positive. Dean Ambrose is backstage and he's being looked after for some scrapes he has on his arm. He's not in Milwaukee. He's not in the building, he says. He promises that he will be there next week. And he cuts a "You People" promo. You know, when you go back to the "You People" promos, you people are so-and-so, sometimes it's like a cliche, right? you go back to what you know. You go back to the well when you're uncomfortable in a situation. You don't know exactly what to say. You fall back on the tried and true formulas that don't necessarily elicit great amounts of imagination, but still help you get your point across and eat up whatever minutes that you have to give, in front of a live television crowd. Positivity. And for some reason, he's getting vaccine, and he's the shot that he's receiving is a needle that I am pretty sure, for having been around stables for a certain part of my earthly existence, pretty sure that the injection, the needle that he had there, is used on a horse usually. I'm pretty sure Dean went to the vets, is what I'm trying to say. And he's getting rabies shots, he said as well during the promo. Plus, he takes the needle on his ass. He stands up on camera, live television, unbuckles his belt, drops his drawers, not entirely, and he takes the needle in the ass. On the positive side, I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon got a giggle out of this. I think he got a good chuckle. I think he had a good guffaw out of this situation, and good for Vince. Good for Vince. God damn. That man works hard. He works hard. He works so hard in a week to provide entertainment for us on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, or 2 times a week, I should say. He deserves to be amused and have a chuckle. Good for Vince. Let's see. Anthony says these smart to death promos are these smart to death promos. Sorry, that was a Freudian slip. I shouldn't have said that. These you people promos are dreadful. Felix says there is no shot that uses a syringe that big. That doctor needs his license revoked. I'm pretty sure he's a vet. Bob Ruski says Vince written 1000%, or at least, if not written, rewritten by Vince. Kristen says Warren knows needles. Bob Ruski says half man, half horse confirmed. Man, and J. King says, man, they really messed up capitalizing on Dean's heat. Positive. You're not entirely wrong, Jay. You're not entirely wrong. Next, we have Lucha House Party versus the Revival. Dash Wilder comes out to the ring with Scott Dawson, and they have microphones. And basically, they say, the Lucha House Party, they don't respect the rules. They don't respect tag team wrestling. They came out to their match last week. The Revival is who I'm talking about. Came out, Lucha House Party were there, and then suddenly it's Lucha House rules. It becomes a 3-on-1, and there's all these wacky rules. So is it not this week? This week we're gonna do it classic tag team style. So the Revival hit the ring, and then JoJo announces as they get there, JoJo announces that it's a Lucha House rules. Lucha rules, not Lucha House, just Lucha rules. And the Revival doesn't like it. And it's not my favorite match of the night. And it is, well, again, I think Lucha House Party are capable of better, crisper performances than what they did this evening. What they do on 205 Live is extremely good. I think that they're being not used properly on Raw as of now. Now, one would wonder here, since all of a sudden, the match becomes a 3-on-2, a handicap match basically, and the Lucha House Party come out with the festive music, the chant, the piñatas, which my daughter, Lil Hayes, aptly pointed out that one of the piñatas is actually colored exactly like the Fortnite llama, which I am completely unfamiliar with because I don't play Fortnite. But then she showed me a picture, and I had astute observation from my daughter, Lil Hayes. But basically, the Lucha House Party come out. They're colorful and festive and happy and smiling. Masks. Revival are, wow, they're sour pusses. So my question here is, who, well, you could ask yourself, are the Revival really the heels here? Are they really the heels for being in a position where they end up in a handicap match? Is it their fault? Well, maybe we should just be looking at how, revisiting our interpretation of what a babyface is. Why wouldn't Lucha House Party arrive with lucha rules? Perhaps it is all of us. All of us are the true heels in this situation. For we are not open to other cultures, other visions of pro wrestling. Perhaps we are so single-minded on how things happen here in our North American world that when people from other cultures come with their own beliefs and practices, that we suddenly become so shut down to it. No, I believe in openness. We should accept these situations that outsiders can bring to us. Broaden our horizons, folks. The Revivals are still the heels here. Two white guys saying, no, we don't want none of your cuckoo nonsense, you wacky Hispanics. We don't understand your ways. We're against them. Of course the Revival are the heels here. I'm trying really, really hard, guys, to be really positive. Next we have a Lars Sullivan promo, but before that, because he's either going to Raw or SmackDown, but before that, Michael Cole tells us Lars Sullivan is the most coveted free agent in the history of WWE. Wow, Michael. Wow. I mean, bigger than when John Cena's a free agent, right? Like he goes around from Raw to SmackDown a little how he pleases, and people try to sign him. Wow. Lars is bigger than that, right? Holy smokes. I'm not, I'm familiar with his work over on NXT. Lars is who I'm talking about. I'm familiar with his work from NXT, and man, what a game changer that guy is. Yeah, that's the word you guys used. He's a game changer. He's gonna turn either brand up onto his head. Can't wait for Survivor Series next year for all this brand supremacy. Wow. I mean, Lars is he's gonna ensure brand supremacy for whoever brand he's on. Whoo! You can be sure that Stephanie and Shane, it's a bidding war going on right now. Sue. All right. Next, more positivity. Nia Jax comes to the ring, accompanied by Tamina. She says the locker room is thankful for her. She says she's thankful. The locker room is thankful for her and she's thankful for winning at Survivor Series. You know, being the sole survivor. She's also thankful for breaking Becky Lynch's face, and that she put her on the shelf with a concussion. And then she starts talking about the Raw Women's title, and that she's going to take Ronda's title away. They recap some matches that she did. I was listening. I was listening. I was paying attention. They recapped their match, for instance, Ronda and Nia's match at Money in the Bank, which, honestly, and again, all irony aside here, I thought it was a fun match. It was a fun match that they had there, and then they recapped the beating that Ronda took at Survivor Series at the hands of Ronda Rousey. And she plays off the fact that she's a heel and she's trying to be. She's being smarmy, being sarcastic, trying to use all that heel heat that she's getting, to come across as a really strong heel character. She tries really, really hard, if only, and it's good that they're putting Nia in this position, to be really, really honest. If we're being positive about this, Nia, she has the depth. She has such character depth to pull this off, and the delivery in her promos as well, spot on. Doesn't sound phony or fake at all. Like, she is really coming across as a top-notch heel. Like, there's no other person who could be put into this position right now who could really work it so well as a heel. And I'm glad that they're really using the amount of heat that she's getting from having punched Becky Lynch in the face. I'm really glad that they're using it because the heat maintained throughout the entire promo. You may have heard at some point, maybe from the audience, you can't wrestle. I think that was piped in, wouldn't you say? I don't think the audience would have reacted like that. They would have maintained some true, real heat. Not just heat that you get when you come to the ring because you're hated, or not heat that you get when you start mentioning Becky Lynch. No. Like, the heat was sustained, wasn't it, folks? Wasn't it? Anyway, Ronda Rousey comes out with double eye infections. She says she starts talking about Nia being a part. She thinks that Nia Jax is lucky to be part of a warrior culture, and that she's lucky that her punch landed on Becky Lynch and changed history. But at TLC, she's going to rip her arm off and slap Charlotte Flair across the face with it, which is pretty good. And she challenges Nia to a fight right there and then. Nia says it's not going to happen. She just finished washing her hand from Becky Lynch's crusty blood, which got a reaction. It got a reaction when she said it. You can ignore the fact that everything that she was saying beforehand wasn't getting a reaction. I also think it's kind of gross. Well, no, hang on. Let me start over again. We're being positive. I actually think it's kind of a symbol. It's probably part of her warrior culture to have left the blood of her of her victim that she punched 2 weeks ago. I think it's interesting that she left the blood on her hand for 2 weeks. Maybe it's a Samoan thing that I'm not aware of, and that she let it crust over, and that she just finished washing it. I mean, again, who am I to judge about other people's customs? So basically, yeah, she says, and she says, I'm just killing time because Tamina steps menacingly behind Ronda Rousey, and then Natalia's music hits, and she starts running out, which is cool because I was actually looking forward to seeing when Natalya would pop back into the Ronda Rousey situation. So because they're supposed to be best friends, right? So I'm glad this came back. But then the Riot Squad appeared out of nowhere. The Riot Squad have Bray Wyatt's powers now. Where the hell did they come from? They just poof and they're there, and they just take Natalya completely out. And that's pretty much the end of that really informative segment. It was informative. Let's see what's going on here. What are you guys talking about? I think people are putting me down on my positivity stream here. I don't know why. Jay says Nia Jax's neck is built like grilled cheese. I'm not quite sure what that means. Felix says, don't like WWE trying spotlighting Nia and using her error that hurt another performer as heel heat. Well, WWE is probably the only employer in the world where, you fuck up and hurt someone and you'll get promoted for it. Mr. Hayes is a character played on TV. Mr. Hayes is quite sophisticated in real life. Thank you for pointing that out, John. I appreciate it. Jekyll and Hyde over here. Jekyll and Hyde? No, maybe not. I don't know. Bob Aruski says, this is the most attention Nia has had. Overshined her title run. Absolutely in agreement. She was already starting to be pushed. This push makes it more in creative's eye. Yes. And Jason Campbell doesn't care much for the Riot Squad. I think I like the other two members. I just don't care. I don't care for Ruby Riott. Oh, there's an opinion you don't hear very often. Usually we hear the opposite, but that's interesting. See, all sorts of wonderful opinions going on here on the Mr. Warren Hayes Show in chat. If you're joining us live, if you're not live, well, I'm still happy that you're here. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Be sure to spread the word around. Don't forget to do that. Share the link on youtube.com. Subscribe, and also head over to stream.me/Mr. Warren Hayes. That's another cool place to watch what I'm doing. We recap Dre Maverick's peeing incident. Jake cuts a promo defending himself while he's with the Authors of Pain and says that Gable and Rude will feel fear against the AOP tonight because that's the match we're getting. We're getting Authors of Pain defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against Shad Gable and Bobby Roode. Gable and Rude are serious about this opportunity. The time for jokes is over, right? Because you need to be serious. No more time for urine jokes from last week. All those puns, all those quality 5th grade puns. Akam and Rude start. Drake is on the outside already doing something with Bobby Roode's robe that sort of distracts Bobby Roode for a second. You know how wrestlers are, right? With their gear, with their clothing, to get easily distracted. You don't touch another wrestler's clothes. There's some back and forth, but Akam has the power advantage. Missile dropkick by Gable. Razar then comes in and pummels him down. Gable with an armbar over the ropes on Rezar. He hits a Hurricane Run. A double team suplex by the babyfaces is reversed by Rezar, who does a suplex on both dudes instead. Drake then runs up the ramp and backstage with the robe. And Bobby Roode is in the ring and can't believe what's going on. You know, I think that as a man, I think I can relate with, people stealing my stuff. If I were someone who was a competitive pro wrestler, and I was wrestling every week for title opportunities, and when I finally get it, when I'm finally in a championship match, I really do believe that I myself would unquestionably be more focused on my ring gear, my attire, than actually winning the belts. Back from commercial, and the authors of Pain are in control. Gable is your babyface in peril. Anyway, this all turns around. Rude gets the hot tag. He starts kicking guys around. He goes for his neck breaker because Bobby neck breaker Rude, right? Goes off it gets reversed. He jumps up on the top rope instead, but Akam catches him into a fallaway slam. And then literally, Drake Maverick he's in the bathroom backstage, and he puts Rude's robe in the toilet, and he pisses on Bobby Roode's robe, folks. He urinates. He pees. He drains the lizard. He does all those things onto the robe. Now the question that I had in my mind, because there was speculation when he urinated at Survivor Series, when Big Show caught him, clasped him at his throat. There was a speculation that perhaps that this was working piss, that he had a little gimmick that he activated to simulate piss. But then there's also been speculation that the gimmick, the work piss, didn't work out as according to plan, and Drake Maverick actually pissed his pants. He shoot pissed. So the question that I put out to my timeline tonight was, Drake Maverick peed on Bobby Roode's robe. Was it shoot piss or working piss? I put that out on a poll tonight, and as it stands right now, folks, 57% of people who have answered the poll think it's working piss, while 43% think it's shoot. We have got to get to the bottom of this, and I want your opinions, because WWE has to come clean on this kind of stuff. Are we getting real piss on the network? And that's exactly what JPQ just put in the chat. Are we getting real piss on TV, on the USA Network? Or are we still getting gimmicks here? I want to know. For me, this is important. It's not a negative. It's important. Because to me, I want my wrestling to be believable. If a guy's gonna piss on TV, I want it to be real piss. This basically, and they displayed it up on screen, and this distracted Bobby Roode, of course. And the AOP got the win. Alexa Bliss meets backstage with Sasha and Bayley, and she's creating an open forum for the fans tonight to ask them questions, because she wants the fans to have an opportunity to get to know her superstars better. Next, we have a match between Ember Moon and Alicia Fox. This is a preview to the semifinal. I haven't been following the mixed match challenge at all this year. I'm sorry, Anthony just in the chat says, the piss is still real to me, damn it. I smell a t-shirt. Maybe finally we'll get some Warren Hayes inspired merchandise. Right. So we get a Ember Moon versus Alicia Fox. It apparently has to do with the mixed match challenge. I haven't been paying attention to the mixed match challenge because I've been doing recaps, SmackDown Live recaps. What's wrong with my microphone? God damn it, tonight. Not much of a match here. Alicia Fox gets some early offense in, but Ember battles back and hits the Eclipse for the win. However, I will tell you this: one of my favorite. And it's not a problem that it was much of a match because she was with Ember. She pronouns. She was with her new mixed match challenge partner, which is Kurt Hawkins. Let's not forget that this tag team, when the mixed match challenge began, was Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss. Then Alexa got injured, then Ember Moon came in. Now Braun got injured, and Kurt Hawkins is in. So they were together as a team tonight, and it didn't matter that the match wasn't much because we did get this extraordinary moment. Look at that. This extraordinary moment. Look at that reaction from Ember Moon. That is amazing. Looks like her face. She's like, she wasn't expecting Kurt to be there at all. He's just shocked. I think that's great. Let me pull it up here just a little bit more. Just a wee bit more. Look at that. No, wait a minute. Not that. This here. There we go. See, this is a positive moment right here, right? How do you point? Never mind. But that's all right. But that was fun. That was a fun little moment there. And thank you to Total Diva Eps over on Twitter. Total Divas Eps, for providing the wonderful, wonderful GIF here. Let's see. Jason asks, well, what do you think the players do you and sports? We use the bathroom, you know, where they go in their pants? What? I'm sorry, Jason, I don't understand your question. But that's okay. That's okay. I don't understand, but that's fine because we're all together tonight. We're all together as one. Jinder Mahal versus No Way Jose. Okay, I just want to say, I hope everyone is appreciating the very positive takes that I am giving on the show tonight. I'm just dropping that right here. I hope everyone appreciates the effort that's going in here. Jinder Mahal, basically, you know, I don't think we'll spend much time discussing this match. Not because we could, but I also think that you know, if we want to keep a positive outlook, I think it's important for me as a host, for my mental health. I think it's important that we manage to keep things rolling and move along. Talk about things that had much more impact. So basically, Jinder Mahal defeated No Way Jose, former WWE champion Jinder Mahal, for the better part of 2017, defeated No Way Jose in a competitive match with the Colossus for the 3 count. They re-showed the bit of Dean's promo where he's getting vaccinated, where he, they show the whole thing where he drops his pants, gets the needle. I'm so glad that Vince was having a good time tonight. I really do. Next, we get the Seth Rollins Open Challenge. Seth says no amount of vaccines will make Dean immune to Seth Rollins. Golly gee, look at him being, look at him having continuity here. Seth feels that Dean is probably around, but doesn't believe because he doesn't believe him. Says he's a liar, but he's ready. He's ready for the Open Challenge. There was a lot of speculation going around on the internet, and it's great when we're surprised, when we get shocked, right? Because we like the unpredictability of wrestling. That's one of the reasons we watch wrestling, that we're fans. It's to be surprised. Well, I saw all sorts of speculation. EC3's being called up. Bray, he was at Starrcade last night. Maybe Bray Wyatt. But the biggest surprise of them all came out tonight. Dolph Ziggler. What a surprise. How do you think it was possible for them being WWE creative, to go back to this match one more time? That's the most surprising thing. What a shock. No one expected us to have a 15th match this year, televised match between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. Yes, 15. 15 matches on TV that these two dudes have had together this year. There was wow. What a swerve you pulled on us tonight, WWE. Hoo-hoo-hoo. So, they get to it. There's some grappling to start, some locks, both arms and headlocks. There's an arm drag by Seth that tosses Dolph to the outside, but we go to commercial. Back from commercial, Dolph is in control. Ziggler hits one of his patented beautiful drop kicks, and it's hard to... it's something you hear a lot. Oh, what a beautiful drop kick by Dolph. It's sort of a cliche to say, but the drop kick he hit tonight was particularly pretty. He keeps Seth down, takes him. Seth tries to battle back, but Dolph gets him back down, covers him for 2.9. Seth gets tossed out to the floor as we go to another commercial. Now, wait. Talk about it at the end. Back from commercial, they're both lying flat on the mat because apparently Seth lariats Dolph down. Seth starts to battle back, hits a sling blade, and an enziguri. Now, folks, remember this. Keep this in mind. This is important. Michael Cole actually called it an enziguri. It wasn't a step-up enziguri. It was a regular enziguri that he called properly. Mark your calendars, folks. It is today, November 26, 2018. Michael Cole properly called an enziguri. It wasn't a step-up. It was just an enziguri. He called it as such. November 26, 2018. Put that in your yearbooks, folks. Seth starts climbing up the ropes, looks around for Dean. At least I think that's what the psychology is. He's climbing up on the ropes and he's looking around. So I think, like Dean said, he didn't believe that Dean was not in the building, and I think that kind of proved it. But as he's distracted and looking around for Dean, who isn't there, Dolph crotches him on the top rope. There's some shenanigans that end up with Seth going for the frog splash, and he just lands flat on his stomach. That could not have felt good. Dolph battles back. Dolph gets back at him with a famouser, covers him, and gets a 2.9. He catches Seth in a DDT, but he's lifted. Seth lifts Dolph into a suplex position, but Dolph counters, rolls him up for 2. Then he gets into a sleeper hold. Seth gets out of the sleeper hold by dropping him directly on his back. Goes for hits a super kick, covers Dolph, only gets 2. Dolph avoids not 1, but 2 stomp attempts. Hits the zigzag, covers Seth, only gets 2.9 again. Dolph starts trash talking, gets an inside cradle. Seth gets an inside cradle for 2. Dolph hits a DDT, goes to the top rope, but Seth does his jump up to the top rope, hits the superplex Falcon Arrow for the win. He actually closed the match. With the superplex Falcon Arrow combo. Now that is fantastic. I like the idea that this is actually a very, very good, that this is a strong finish, that it's a strong enough combination to finish a match. But holy smokes, it just makes it toughens up Seth's arsenal, makes him look strong, doesn't always need the stomp to finish the match. And honestly, the superplex and Falcon Arrow combo, anywhere for anyone else, honestly, this would be a finisher. You kidding me? Anyway, I really liked the final third of this match, and I loved the ending of this fight. I also loved that for the first big part of the match, they were going easy, doing a lot of holds for them to rest. There was a lot of that, and that's important. You need to pace yourself in these matches. Yeah. Next, we get the open forum session with Sasha and Bayley. Alexa Bliss comes to the ring. She says Charlie Caruso is ringside to pick questions, but Sasha and Bayley come out. They sit in the ring. And Alexa starts looking for someone in the audience. So she tries some very poor insults at some people. And then she points to the plant in the audience who's wearing a Ronda Rousey shirt. And her question is, if either of you could change the women's division, what would you do? Bayley says, I love the division. The only thing I want more is more opportunities. Oh, what a good answer. Blah, blah, blah. Then Alexa tries to create some dysfunction between them both, between Sasha and Bayley, which is not very positive. She tried. The one thing that I will give Alexa Bliss credit for is that she tried to do her best, like the Miz would do in this type of situation. The Miz was always so excellent at creating these situations where he gets both baby faces after each other. Yeah. There wasn't much here to what Alexa was trying to do. Anyway, it all ends up with Mickie James, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooke attacking the baby faces from the audience. And then the baby faces stand tall. The baby faces stand tall. And isn't that all that matters really from your segments, folks? What more do you want? Do you really want compelling content, great characterization, the time to really develop storylines that will make you care about your baby faces? No, you just want them to stand tall at the end. That's what you want. Main event. Finn Balor in the main event of Raw. Baron Corbin in the main event of Raw. Running long on time, so I will shorten this up a bit. Again, trying to be positive. Let's talk about some highlights here. Baron Corbin is he's quite adept at locking in chin locks, isn't he? He really enjoys a good chin lock. I believe, such as a fine gentleman will enjoy a proper whiskey, an aged whiskey, will be able to denote certain aromas within when tasting a well-aged proper whiskey. I believe that Baron Corbin, he himself, as far as the chin lock goes. He can appreciate all the full nuances of applying those. Never you mind that it slows down the pace of a match to a crawl in moments that you don't necessarily need to, when they're applied for extensive amounts of times, especially when they're applied early on in a match, like within 60 seconds of the beginning of the match. One might wonder why, or one might be puzzled when thinking of a chin. Why would a chin lock be applied within the first 60 seconds of a match? Well, perhaps we're just not on the level of a connoisseur. We're not on his level as far as chin lock appreciation goes, and well, that's on us. I think that's on us. So there's quite a few of this chin lock appreciation society going on here. Balor finally gets the double stomp on Corbin. He battles back, hits some running forearms, chops, and a sling blade, but he runs into a deep six, which Baron covers and gets a 2.9. Balor battles back, shotgun drop kicks Corbin, misses the coup de grace, but Corbin goes to get a microphone because golly gee willikers, isn't that what you do as in a competitive match, is to go and get a mic. He says that this match is now a 2-on-1 handicap match. Finn Balor versus Corbin and his partner Drew McIntyre. Well, hey, seeing Drew McIntyre a lot on an episode of Raw is fine by me, folks. Finn hits a tope con hilo on Drew before he can actually get into the ring. Then he runs straight for Corbin, who's still on the outside, and drop kicks him into the timekeeper's area. Some good fire here by Balor. But he gets forearmed by Drew from behind. Drew gets Finn back into the ring and claymores his fancy Irish beard back to Dublin or wherever it is he came from. And that's the match. Then Lashley comes out with Lio Rush and he does his reverse dominator. They gang up on him. End of days by Corbin. He gets claymored again. The heels stand tall. Well, what a wacky, nutty main event. Actually, I really do think that if this episode served one purpose, is to get this trio of heels over, because man, the Raw roster right now is a little sparse, but that's good because it offers up new opportunities, new possibilities for wrestlers to shine, new people. Oh, that was harder than it looked, folks. But I hope you appreciated the positive spin, the silver lining of the November 26th edition of Raw. Let's go through what chat has been talking about. Anthony says, amen to the aged whiskey. I just had a whiskey that had notes of tres leches, 3 milks. Kristinelli said that she bought a hoodie from Smart to Death, actually. Well, there you go. You should go buy all their merch anyway. Jay King says he gives the show an L out of 10. I have no idea what that is all about. That is a great rating. But yeah, I hope, you know what? I actually hope next week that Raw actually gives me something that we can all talk about proper, because yeah, power of positivity, folks, carries you a long way, but the mental struggle that goes along with it, not always easy. I want to thank everyone who joined us in the chat, joined us live tonight, either right here on youtube.com or on stream.me, youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes, stream.me/Mr. Warren Hayes. Subscribing to my channel over on stream.me is right now currently the best way for you to support this channel. I appreciate it a great deal. Make sure you give a thumbs up to this video on YouTube. You can go follow me on Twitter as well if you don't already know, at Mr. Warren Hayes. And what an evening we just had together, folks. I really appreciate everyone who jumped in tonight. And I hope you have a great, great Tuesday. I'll see you next time.